Detective Comics, issue 423. Batman in the most dangerous 20 miles in Gotham City. Two mystery thrillers, Shadow of a Doubt and The Big Heist. Batgirl and Candidate for Danger. Why has the Batman, who has sworn never to use a gun, turned into an assassin? The most dangerous 20 miles in Gotham City. Nighttime in Gotham City, on a rooftop across the street from police headquarters. The sniper scope rifle is trained on a wooden crate. Bang, you're dead. But moments later, has the man who swore never to use a gun missed? So far, so good. Our man in the crate is still safe. We didn't leave the killer the tiniest loophole to get at him. Are you sure of that? You sure he's still alive? Batman, you kill crazy? You couldn't have. Care to bet on his life? Take a look at this. Proof positive. Dead at Batman's sights. Dead as a doornail if I had been the assassin out to get Ivanescu, and if I had used the silenced rifle instead of this zoom lens, instant developing camera rifle. Right, that does it. Scratch plan one. Back to the planning board, boys. Map out a route to get the real Ivanescu from here to Gotham International Airport alive. Moments later, at a top secret meeting in Washington, D.C., gentlemen, Operation Gauntlet has ended in failure. And unless we pull it off without a slip up, our man is dead. Which is why, somewhere in Gotham City, a deadly efficient stalker, the Batman, acts on our behalf. If we can't get our stand in safely past, what chance is there for the real Ivanescu? Not a ghost. Precisely the reason we set up this dry run with the Cape Crusader, to test it out while there's still time. When the real crunch is on, we get no second chance. Within moments, in Gotham's police headquarters building, plan number 2 swings into operation. Here we go again, but this time we make it. Not even the Batman can penetrate our security in this underground garage. And once inside this super army tank for the ride to the airport, our Ivanescu is untouchable. They're stand-in, securely buttoned up inside, the mammoth tank rumbles out into Gotham's night-stilled streets. We're all untouchable as long as we stay behind the street sprinkler. It'd take a detective genius greater than the Caped Crime Fighter to guess that sanitation truck is equipped with the latest in mine detection gear, which covers us for any sneak attack from below, striking at our soft underbelly. Yeah, any of those manhole covers could be a detonator for high explosives hidden beneath. But as they enter the tunnel leading under Gotham's East River, hey, the sprinkler is leaving us high and dry. Hang loose, pal. There are no manholes on the expressway from here to International Airport. And this route is too well traveled for our unseen killer to risk booby trapping it shortly as the tank rumbles under an overpass. My Batcopter got me here ahead of them, but I can't use it for an aerial attack. Too vulnerable to their radar computerized anti aircraft fire. Now, unless they've got a surface contact detection system, I can go to work opening them up. But inside, despite the Batman's whisper soft cat like landing, how about that? We've got a visitor. So let's welcome him. Immediately, the outer skin of the speeding juggernaut pulsates with deadly energy. Ouch! They've electrified the entire surface. Voltage so high I can feel the tingle even through my insulated soles. And now the ventilator air intakes sealed off. They've switched to inside oxygen tanks. So there goes my smoke bomb plan to force them out. But I've got my backup plans to counter theirs. In this death game, I have to anticipate everything. Instants later. Yo, can't see, my periscope's blacked out. Mine, ditto. After this blackout spray job, they've only got two choices left. Stop driving and come out, or open up for direct sight steering. Either way, it gives me my opening. Blam! You're dead. Later, back at Police Commissioner Gordon's office. So you see, sir, if that grenade had been live, I know, Batman, I know. Don't rub it in. That's precisely my role in this death game, Commissioner. To rub it in until you come up with a foolproof scheme. These 101 super patriots we're up against will cover all bases. To prevent our trading master spy Ivanescu to his red masters in exchange for our agent Davis. Those lunatic fringe fools, they'd kill Ivanescu to keep him from spilling our secrets to the communists, even if it means making our man Davis expendable. When will they learn not to interfere with high level government decisions? Certainly not in the few hours left before Davis is flown in here for the swap. Still studying your stand in role on closed circuit TV rigs? The perfect opportunity for a character actor like me, Batman, with his subject on display in a maximum security cell. I must master all his mannerisms, quirks, especially with an unseen audience out there somewhere watching our dress rehearsals. Right, Riggs, and noting all our mistakes so they can write the perfect ending to the real life murder drama. Suddenly, Commissioner, the red alert. So soon? That means their SST is taken off, which gives us 3 hours to devise a loophole proof scheme to transport Ivanescu safely to Gotham Airport. They want him back alive, which is the way we want our man Davis. They won't buy a dead man. Bearing the hostage American counterspy, a supersonic transport streaks across sleeping countries heading for Gotham, where alternative plan is number 3 is activated against the speeding minutes of a dwindling deadline as a squad car pulls up to a busy central precinct. All right, you three punks, out. What's new, Sarge? Who you booking? Just some thrill freaks, Jim. Been terrorizing old people for kicks. After they check in, the culprits are let out for an overnight stay at Gotham's Tombs. Move it. You're about to ride in style. Not if we can help it, pig. Light out. Yeah, hit the subway. The element of surprise on their side. The escapees make it to the subway when Batman thought you had more important business to attend to. Any crime business is important to me. No, Batman, not me. Ha! I was sure you wouldn't want to fight. Not Mr. Riggs, Ivanescu's stand in. How did you know? You're too good an actor, Riggs. Even though you took on this new role of a fleeing suspect, you couldn't drop Ivanescu's foreign mannerism holding a cigarette Russian style. And neither could Ivanescu. If we used this substitution plan for the real move, they would spot it as easily as I did. Back in the safety of the police fortress. Scratch Plan 3, along with 4, 5, and 6, they all have weaknesses. Good Lord, Batman, do you realize what that leaves us? The weakest scheme of all. Or the strongest if we play it right. But remember, I'm duty bound to crack it, if I can. 0 minus 1 hour. Plan Desperation is put into operation. We're atop the highest building in the area of an SQ, or Riggs, where they can't get a beat on you. But once we're in the air, we'll soon find out. With Gordon, the stand in, and his guards safely aboard, the police copter rises into the protective shelter of hovering escort craft. And sandwiched under a top cover of Air Force jet fighters, it clatters off toward the distantly seen airport. You and Riggs may be uptight, Commissioner, but we feds like this procedure. Cuts the odds down to a minimum. Minimum isn't good enough. Either it's 100% or we lose. Despite Gordon's fears, it is go all the way. Then, at the distant end of the far flung airport, we're coming down alongside a portable covered ramp, a simulation of the actual plane transfer setup. And this, gentlemen, is the critical moment, bridging that gap to the ramp. But once inside the loading tunnel, it's clear sailing to the SST that will be waiting at the end of it. When I say now, Riggs, jump, and fast, as if your life depended on it. Now! Zap, you're dead. Batman, you got him. But that's blood on his fake blood, a soft hollow bullet used in movie shootouts fired from this air rifle. Oh, it'll sting for a while, but he'll live. But Ivanescu won't, not when they fire real bullets. Poor fellow is in shock, but he'll recover on the trip back. Yes, Commissioner, we're taking your actor Ivanescu back to Gotham, where he'll be safe till you come up with a plan that works. But Batman, time is running out on us. How many more trial runs can we come up with? The successful one, the one that counts in the payoff. I'll wait here to greet the SST. Don't fail me, Commissioner. Fail you, Batman? It's my neck that's on the chopping block. Oh, yes, my fanatic friends out there in the dark, I'll be waiting. Waiting till you dope out the one perfect scheme I haven't used, as yet. The tense vigil drags interminably on until, Tower to SST, you have official clearance for immediate landing on runway 6. Proceed to raise loading ramp by hangar 7, north end of field. And as the giant craft pulls alongside the waiting ramp, incredible, our own devoted guardians of that commie spy, Ivanescu, stupid enough to pull the same copter stunt that even the clever Batman saw through. But what else could transport our target to the raised tunnel entrance leading to the jet? Stupid, so stupid, it's almost no challenge. Isn't it? Even if I told you that you've already failed. What? Always wanted to meet the evil mastermind who could outsmart me. Still haven't. Trooper Omega, front and center. Coming up, Captain Alpha. Figured there'd be more than one of you to match wits with me. Ah, but even two misguided geniuses don't make one Batman. Tough, Trooper Omega, but when you play deadly games, you can't cry fingers. Moments later, you can come out of that tunnel trapdoor now, Ivanescu. Your buddies are waiting for a trade, and we're waiting for our man Davis. The dawn of a new day finds the Batman back at home base. Hardly thought it would work, Batman. Your idea of delivering the real Ivanescu on that first trial copter run, with Riggs waiting hidden in the loading ramp floor for a switch return here. Guess I'll never drop this habit now. You'd better, Riggs, if you hope to stay a live actor. The end. Johnny Law, Headquarters Detective. Only Johnny Law, crack headquarters detective, was sure that an innocent man was being held and that a telltale photo had pointed out the wrong man. But the ace sleuth had to move carefully, for he was compelled to prove his case beyond a shadow of a doubt. In his swank penthouse apartment, banker Carlton Carver pleads with a ruthless enemy. You can't get away with murder. No, I'm bringing your account up to date. Paid in full. Late that afternoon, crackhead quarters detective Johnny Law investigates the murder. The maid discovered the body, Johnny. Carver was cut down with 3 slugs. After the coroner and the lab boys arrive, seal off the apartment. There is to be no interruption until after the investigation. Hours later. There are plenty of prints, Johnny, but they're all Carver's. Not a clue. It appears our killer planned his crime well in advance. We'll have to crack this case from another angle. That evening, as Johnny ponders over the apparent perfect crime at police headquarters, I tell you, this photograph concerns the Carver murder. I'll speak to him, Captain. As Johnny studies the photograph, when was this photograph taken? At exactly 12 noon, Detective Law. I wanted a picture of the city from my hotel room on the 41st floor. Later, when I read of the murder, I realized what I had snapped. Why, that's Whitey Collins, an ex-con Carver had sent to jail for theft. What a break. I'll pick him up at once. For hours, the ace detective scours the city for the number one suspect. Finally, looks like I just arrived in time. There goes Whitey now. Collins, stop. In the name of the law. As the surprised ex-con darts into the street in an attempt to elude the headquarters detective, you've got a date with a jail cell, Whitey. You're a sucker. No one beats a murder rap. Shortly at police headquarters. Take a good look at this photo, Collins. Now, do you not deny being in Carver's apartment? All right. Carver did call and ask me to see him at his penthouse. When I got there, he said he didn't call me and he threw me out. But that was 10 a.m., 2 hours before the murder. You're lying. This photo was taken by Wilbur Burton, a tourist, at 12 noon from his hotel room. Where were you at that time? Alone, in my room. I knew you cops would try to pin the murder on me. I had the perfect motive, revenge. That's why I tried to run away. You've got to believe me, I'm innocent. After Collins has been returned to his cell, Johnny confers with Captain Morley. Any jury in the country would convict him on the evidence we have. I realize that, Captain. Still, anyone confronted with such powerful evidence against him would confess. Whitey insists he's innocent? Why? Then there's his photo. There's something about it. Wish I could put my finger on it. Think I'll try a little experiment tomorrow, with your permission. The following day on the terrace of the penthouse apartment. Here's the photo you asked me to take from my hotel room, Detective Law. Satisfied, Johnny? We've run through the crime step by step. Even had Mr. Burton take another photo. There's nothing to prove Whitey's innocence. Then, as the alert detective compares the two photographs, of course, I must have been blind. Burton, you're the killer. Johnny, are you mad? Hardly, Captain. Burton swore he took the first photograph at 12 noon. He deliberately lied to frame Collins, and I can prove it. After Wilbur Burton has been subdued, Johnny proves his accusation. This picture was taken sometime in the morning. Note the building shadows. Had it been taken at noon, with the sun directly above the building, there would have been no shadows. He called Whitey Collins on the phone, posing as a carver, and asked him to the penthouse. Then he photographed him there. When he left, you visited Carver and killed him. I was a clerk in Carver's bank. He caught me cheating, threatened to expose me. I had to get him. The end. Originally published in Big Town number 15, May June 1952. Batgirl and Candidate for Danger. Distraught over a continuing failure to prevent crime as Batgirl, Babs Gordon, the police commissioner's daughter, is propelled into a Gotham shaking decision and simultaneously blows her cover. Dad, I want your job. Babs, you mean you want to run for Congress in my place? But Babs, you've known, Dad, but I'm really. After a lifetime of police work, darling, not many things escape my trained eye. And I see, Batgirl, that you're off, chip off the old block. I'm proud of you. So if you want to boot the rascals out of office, kick off, baby, with my blessing. In the hectic days following Bab's dramatic decision to run against the old guard candidates in a special by election, lacking the TV campaign funds available to her opponents, Bab goes directly to the man in the street. But will they clean up the slums, create new jobs, stop dope trafficking? I say they won't. I say boot the rascals out. Elect me. Like wildfire, the fighting spirit of the girl who is really Batgirl comes across to the voters loud and clear, and soon voices pick up the refrain. Give 'em the boot, the boot, the boot. Send the boot to Congress. Get out the vote to boot 'em out. Grueling days and endless nights later. Oh, Jason, at times it seems so hopeless. The public cheers me pats my back, shouts slogans. But when they're alone behind those drawn curtains of the voting booth, whom will they vote for? Me, a young newcomer, or the same old pros? This is a new young era, Babs. I have faith in it, and you mustn't lose yours. The few eager volunteers we have are no match for our opponents' well paid crews working around the clock. I'll never admit defeat, Jason, but it's rough. Uh, what's that, Babs? That growing sound from around the corner, and then sweeping into the deserted street like an unleashed flood. Tab Higgins at your service, Madam Congresswoman, and we're shaking the can to bring in honest money. We're bringing out the 18-year-old vote for you to elect with the boot with the people's bucks, quarters, and dimes. What? I don't know what to say. You said it all already, Miss Babs. That's why we're here. You really got to us. Let me be the first to hand over your new campaign funds, and there's more where that came from, out there. Oh, Mr. Higgins, Tab, I'm touched. Dump the day's proceeds on the tables, kids. Start counting. We gotta raise mucho TV time for our gal. That's only the beginning. We don't figure on having enough loot yet, but another day, tomorrow's another day. You get some rest. You look real spaced out. I'll buy that, Tab. Come on, Babs. I'll see you home. Only one thing bugs me. The people's bread lying around loose, Mr. Bard. Afraid it might tempt a ripoff? Sure might, but we don't trust establishment banks. We'll defend it ourselves against all comers. And on the closing night of the campaign. Those great kids, Jason, they've been pounding pavements day and night, knocking on doors. Yet, according to Tab Higgins, official accountant, we're still 1,000 short of the 15 we need for TV time. They'll come through. I know they will. Hope so. The station manager is bending over backwards to hold the time slot open for us. But before Babs can begin her speech, Miss Babs, we've been taken, ripped off. Mitch, you've been hit, pistol whipped, had no chance against their guns. 3 creeps masked with silk stockings. Their leader slugged me. Jason, get him medical treatment. Call the police. I'm going back to campaign headquarters. As Batgirl. I know who did this. Shortly. Batgirl, tell me what happened here. I already know about the holdup trio. Can you add any details? Only that when their leader clubbed Mitch, I screamed, dropping my bag in fright. And did you follow them out when they fled? Those look like women's boot prints leaving a base powder trail. Me no, I just folded right here, scared stiff, and Mitch ran for help. Suddenly, got another load of voters loot. Hey, Batgirl, what's up? Hold it, Tab, right there. Don't mess up those footprints. They're clues to a robbery. Well, they sure aren't mine. See, I'm clean. No one accused you of anything, and you sure covered your tracks well by wiping off those trick rocker bottoms and returning here innocent like. But one thing you couldn't cover. What clue to Tab's guilt was right under Batgirl's nose, and yours, ever since we met him. You can't hide the fact that you pistol whipped Mitch. He was bruised on the right side of his head. The side of a left-hander would hit, and yeah, I'm a lefty, and you're too cute, Batgirl, to live. You're the cutie organizing a youth crusade to innocently collect funds all over Gotham so you could rob the poor box. Huh, I was just taking the public before Miss Goody Boots got her greedy claws in their pockets. Politicians are all alike. On the take. Swinging around the corner on the run. A gat, quick, Batgirl's on my tail. Coming up, Tab boy. Pitching, but you're catching, Tab baby. And before Tab's rip-off buddies can drive off, new heels are getting the boot. At police headquarters, after the Domino Daredevil brings in her captives and the recovered campaign funds, anything personal in coming to candidate Gordon's aid, Batgirl? Oh, you might say we both believe in protecting the public's purse. 10 p.m. that night, following hurried last-minute arrangements, political analysts interpret Batgirl's veiled comments tonight as an endorsement of Babs the boot for Congress. I didn't plan for Batgirl to come out for me, Dad. I don't believe in influence peddling, you know that. But will it tip the election in my favor? And now we bring you a pre-taped, paid political speech. Don't miss the election results next issue. A detective classic. Are all crimes solved by the police? What about cases that drag into years, defying solution? Are they filed and forgotten? No, because the law never considers a case closed until it's solved. For instance, when 1 million was heisted from the vaults of the Jennings Armored Truck Service in 1935, Lieutenant Detective Al Sylvester was put on the case. After 6 months of false leads, he was taken off, but continued the case on his own. How Sylvester solved this incredible mystery after 15 relentless years is revealed in this file fact story of The Big Heist. Originally published in Gangbusters number 26, February March 1952. The beginning of the big heist case was typical of many others. 100 grand in each bag. That adds up to a cool million. Stop grabbing and move before someone outside wises up. You'll never get away with this. You won't stop us. Let's beat it out of here. Text, I'm hit. That cop will never shoot again. He killed the policeman. A general alarm went out as Lieutenant Detective Al Sylvester was assigned to the case 20 minutes later. Just the way my pop was killed 20 years ago, Chief, I'm going to get those killers if it's the last thing I do. They couldn't have gone very far, maybe with a couple of breaks. All exits were sealed off. Every uniformed man on the force was alerted to maintain a sharp watch for four men, one very tall and called Tex in a black Franklin touring sedan. Every doctor in the city was questioned. Sorry, officer, I haven't treated a bullet wound in weeks. Well, if you do, let us know right away, which closed the first day's investigation on March 16th, 1935. But as the days lengthened into weeks, not a trace of them. The way I figure it, they split up after the job and scattered. That'll make your job tougher, but I want you to stay with it, Al. It's the biggest heist in the department's history. Sylvester stayed with it for 5 months. 5 months of false leads and phony tips. Then, anything to that phone call you got? Not a thing. A two-bit pickpocket. Besides, he was having his tonsils yanked on March 16th. I've bad news for you. I'm taking you off the big heist, Al. Cases are piling up. I can't spare you. But Chief, giving up? I just couldn't. Would you mind if I keep working at it on my own time? And so Al Sylvester began to work a double shift. You can't pin nothing on me. I was in the lockup the whole month of March. Okay, just thought I'd ask. The dreary months lengthened into years. Sylvester stayed on his treadmill. In 1939, on a routine case at the World's Fair in New York City, 4 years, 4 futile years. I'm the talk of the force. My wife thinks I'm crazy, but I won't give up. I won't. I'll get those killers yet. No, I don't mind telling you, Lieutenant. I was at my orange groves in California back in 35. Why? Do I look like public enemy number one? No, I'm always interested in big men with big money to sling around. And 2 years later, on the eve of President Roosevelt's visit to the city following his third inauguration, Lieutenant Sylvester, this is Hank Mates of the Secret Service. You will aid him in mapping the route of the President's procession. But on the following week, ever alert for a lead, hey Tex, you can see better over here. Did he say Tex? Is your name Tex? Sure, anything wrong in that? At headquarters, his chase had become a standing joke. Sorry, the missus and I can't come over tonight, Joe. I just got a blind tip on the big heist. Say, Al, if you ever expect to solve that job, you better move a little faster. Yeah, you're coming up for retirement in 10 years. So what? I'll turn private eye and spend the rest of my life tracking down those hoods. I won't give up. I'll never give up. Even at his home, his fanatic manhunt took precedence over everything else. In 1945, Al, you finished packing? I haven't even started yet. This will be a double celebration the end of the war and your 2 weeks vacation. It should be lovely in Atlantic City. Sorry, honey, something's turned up. I'm upstate. I'm leaving in an hour. Doggedly, Sylvester stuck to his evasive fugitive. The case had become a private war between himself and his unseen enemy, but throughout the years his faith in eventual success never wavered. 5 years later, in the fall of 1950, during the building boom, laborers clearing lime pits in a marshy wasteland for a new apartment project uncovered a gruesome spectacle. Holy cat, Mike, there's a body down there. Stick around, Harry, I'm going to call the police. To Sylvester, this was, at first, another routine job. This is the bullet from the corpse those workers discovered in the lime pit, Lieutenant. Rush it to the police lab for checking. And that same day, Chief, this bullet was shot out of a regulation police pistol. I'm going to have a look at that weapon that winged that hood in the big heist. Good gravy, Alan. Don't tell me you're still hoping to break that case. Later. Chief, I have news. I fired a test bullet from that police pistol. Under the comparison microscope, it tallied with the bullet we dug out of that body. No wonder we couldn't find a wounded Hood. He was dead all the time. Haven't we enough new evidence to reopen the case officially? How about putting me back on it full time? Oh, good afternoon, Commissioner. This is Lieutenant Sylvester. I was telling you about him. He wants us to officially reopen the big heist case. On what evidence? But after listening, you'll need more than that to go on, Lieutenant. It's been 14 years. Trail's pretty cold by now, and all you've got is one dead Hood as far as I can see. Then, if you don't mind, sir, I'll keep working on it on my own time. Sure now that he had a vital clue, Sylvester resumed his patient sleuthing. All we could get out of that body, besides the bullet, were these false teeth. Doesn't look like the usual set. Not much to go on. Maybe Professor Weschler at the dental school can help. Shortly after, I can state definitively that this denture was made by a foreign dentist. Our methods are opposed to the use of these suction cups, and we never use stainless steel crowns. Where can I get a list of foreign refugee dentists practicing in this city? From the Dental Association? And after countless phone calls, Sylvester got his second break. Yes, that is my work. I made it not long after I came here. Let's see, I made that plate for Bernard Macklin, Hotel Worthy on East 54th. Many thanks, Doc. You've been a big help. Then at the Hotel Worthy. Yes, according to this old record, on the same day that Mr. Macklin and Jack Woods were given room 14, two other men, Fred Metexas of Oregon and John Beery, checked into the adjoining room. That makes four men, and wait a minute, did you say Fred Metexas of Oregon? That might be the Tex I'm looking for. And back at headquarters. But, Chief, can't you see it's beginning to add up? The hotel clerk remembered that Metexas was a tall man. So what? The city's full of tall men. But I'll put through a call to the Oregon police if it'll keep you quiet. Far into the night, the two officers worked. Then, I was afraid of it, Al. The Oregon call was a bust. All the McTaxases there are okay. Probably changed his name. The way I see it, the gang split up after the heist. My job now is to get them back together again. And the only way to do that is to let the newspapers know we uncovered a big clue on the big heist. What good will that do? This. It'll make those mugs wonder if we found the body or something else. They'll return to that lime pit. And when they do, I'll be waiting. I still think it's a shot in the dark, but I'll give out the story. Next day, a shocked Texas Ranger dropped his paper and put through a call to Detroit. But Tex, I've got a respectable insurance business out here. I don't want to get mixed up in that old business. Jack, we're all in this together. If they get me, you'll swing too. Now call up Beery in Idaho. Tell him to hop on the next plane east. A week later, in a top floor tenement flat. It's dark now. We can slip out to see that pit, see if they dug up Macklin. I hope that's the only clue they got. Let's take it easy, though. It might be a trap. A trio flagged a cab, dropped off near the lime pit, then inched cautiously to the scene. Look, it's a man, just like I was afraid. Shh, I'll take him by surprise. Now we know. They got Macklin's body. It isn't here. And they can't tie that job onto us. Let's get going. Sometime later. Oh, Chief, I didn't see any of them. Find anything, Harry. Just this glove. It's big enough to fit a giant. Bring it along. I'll have it checked. After being stalled for 15 years, the case had suddenly caught a spark and was now moving into second gear at the police lab. We found traces of pollen dust from a type of dahlia known as cactus dahlia, found mostly in northern Mexico. Northern Mexico or southern Texas? There's our man, Tex, from Texas. Wonder what made him write Oregon as his address in that hotel register. Just covering his tracks, I guess. Chief, I'd like to take the next plane to Texas. Will you fix it for me? Sure, you can consider yourself officially back on the case now, Al. Next day, Sylvester hopped off in Braunston, Texas. He went into a huddle with state police. Here it is, January 5th. John Organic bought a pecan ranch 20 miles due north of Braunston. Organic? Huh? We wondered why he happened to pick Oregon as his home state. And on January 5th, Tex was loaded with that Jennings armored truck money. I'm going to pay that ranch a visit. The visit to the ranch was brief but fruitful. Sorry, but Tex didn't say exactly where he would be staying. Is anything wrong? No, not yet. Thanks for this photo of him anyway. There was one more call to make in Texas. Why, here it is. A call from the Texas ranch was put through to a Roger Woods in Detroit at 3:40 p.m. Thanks so much. If my chief calls, tell him I've gone to Detroit. In Detroit, he bagged another photo. Then back home, he immediately reported in. These are the two of the men we're looking for, Chief. They're somewhere in the city. Let's hope they haven't skipped and scattered again in the meantime. How about lunch before we start looking? Sure turned cold. Say, Tex lost one of his gloves at that lime pit. In this weather, he might have bought another pair. A haberdasher who sold him would remember that giant mitt of his. Half the haberdashers in town were interviewed before. That's the fellow I sold the gloves to, only he didn't look so young as on this picture. I remember him. He was so big and his hands like an ape. Just like I figured. Let's go, Chief. The rest of the day was spent visiting other merchants in the area who could identify Tex. Late that night, they holed up and somewhere in this area. Tex bought food in this store, aspiring here, stationery here. Okay, we'll block off the area and start climbing stairs. Nice work, Lieutenant. You break this case and it'll be a feather in my cap and a promotion for you. Now the web started to tighten. Tex, they're getting closer and closer every day. Stop crying. We'll wait till it gets dark and make a break for it. That same night. You, up there, stop. Over this roof and onto the next. Fast. Get down the fire escape. We'll steal a car. Disregarding the safety of innocent pedestrians, the crime car plunged through the crowded midtown streets. They're still right behind us, Tex. Don't worry. I've got a little surprise for 'em. At the Lincoln Tunnel, dug deep into the bedrock beneath the Hudson River. Yes, they went through here pretty fast about 10 minutes ago. We warned them to cut down their speed and let them right through. Go ahead and have the state troopers block off state highways 1, 3, and 9, about 5 miles west of the tunnel. Hey, Tex, this road is blocked too. We'll never get across the state now. It wasn't my intention to. We'll ditch the car here and get lost in the tall grass. But we can't get far on foot. You fool, we haven't far to go. We're going to backtrack to the ferries. We'll mingle with the crowd, then pull our old trick again. We'll separate. Wow, this is like a jungle. They got into the meadows right here, Lieutenant. Looks bad, Lieutenant. There's 20 miles of this grass. They could come out anywhere. Let's go, Lieutenant. They've got a pretty good head start on us already. Frankly, boys, I've been chasing these hoods for 15 years, and I'm dog tired. I think I'll prefer to wait here. You mean after all that time, you're going to let them slip through your fingers? I've got a hunch they're going to be willing to do business with the law, and right soon. What is this stuff? Quicksand? We'll never get out alive. Help! I'm sinking, help! I figured you'd want help. These meadows are the worst marshlands outside of Florida. What's more, you'd need a compass in these dense weeds to get where you want to go. Get us out here before we sink all the way. No danger of that. You couldn't sink down more than a foot or so, but it'll be a pleasure to get you out of here all the same. On January 15th, 1955, Fred McTexas, Jack Woods, and John Beery paid the supreme penalty for murder, thus ending one of the longest manhunts on record. A fitting climax to the achievement of a police officer to whom crime detection was not only a job, but a way of life. The end.